Hello and welcome. This is Karen coming to you from Vermont, Salt and Sand Studios. This is our yoga intermission focused on cultivating seeds of change. It's nice to have you here this morning if you are live with me on Saturday. It's also nice to have you here if you are practicing with a recording. In cultivating the seeds of change, the idea is to utilize a hand gesture, a mudra, the Hakini Mudra, in support of the power of the mind to enable you to cultivate and manifest whatever it is you desire to manifest in your life, in your world. So we'll do some hip openers, we'll do some heart openers, but we are going to start with the mudra. Just checking with my tech. All right, sound and video are good. So to create the Hakini Mudra, Hakini means power or rule, and it is often called the mudra of the mind. You take the hands as if you're going to put them into prayer. Maybe you go ahead and put them into prayer, and then you do a little, as was discussed this morning at the breakfast table here, a little spider push-up. And the fingers are a little spread. And most of the time, people are utilizing the Hakini Mudra at the center forehead, the third eye chakra. We're going to practice it at the belly, at the heart, and at the head. You can kind of hang out with your hands here for a minute while we chat. So the idea here is when we are working with the mudra and breathing on the inhale, the tongue presses to the roof of the mouth, and on the exhale, it drops away. We want to sit, so if that needs to be in a chair, go ahead and do that because we want the spine nice and long. So we're actually going to start with it, with the mudra facing downward, right at the low belly. So seated wherever you are, checking out what makes the most sense in terms of cross-legged, Sukhasana easy pose, or your lotus or half lotus pose. We want a little bit of relaxation in the knees and the thighs. So maybe sneak something underneath your sitting bones and move the sitting bones forward toward the edge of whatever that is, a pillow, a cushion, or a blanket. With the mudra facing the thumbs up and the fingers down, you can rest your forearms or your wrists on your thighs. Drop your chin just a teeny bit and then press backward. And if the belly's just kind of hanging out nice and soft and shiny and comfy, you're going to gather the navel in a little bit toward the spine and move it up a notch. Shoulders, let's shrug them up on a breath in. Press them behind and release them down, breath out. Gaze can be downcast and forward, or perhaps the eyes are closed. We'll let the lips draw together. Teeny little space, maybe right at the center of the lips. And again, on the breath in, the tongue comes to the roof of the mouth, and on the breath out, the tongue relaxes. Find your breath. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you forget to work with the tongue, no problem. If that's too much, you can just let the tongue be relaxed in the mouth. And as you deepen this breath, consider what change you would like to make in your life. And maybe that feels overwhelming or just a little bit too much. So maybe you just consider, what would you like to manifest? It could be as straightforward as you'd like to manifest joy, or maybe it feels more complex, like you'd like to manifest a space without chaos. You now start to feel the breath moving in and out of the low belly and the connection of the low belly with your hands. If you are familiar with Tai Chi or Qigong, you might notice the energy inside the hands. And maybe even if you aren't unfamiliar with those things, you notice the energy inside the hands. See if you can guide the breath all the way into the low belly and out the low belly into the hands, and then back into the low belly as you breathe out. Now we'll lift the mudra to the heart. So the thumbs are more associated with the heart in space. Our gaze, sort of self-awareness, observation moves down to the heart area. And again, consider that which you would like to manifest in your life, in your world. Feel the energy inside the hands. And as you breathe in and the breath passes through the heart area down into the belly, let some of that breath move out into the hands, into the mudra, into Hakini. And as you breathe out and the air starts to come past the chest again, let it join up with the energy from your hands. One more cycle of breath here. And we'll shift the mudra to the center forehead, maybe even touching the center forehead with the thumbs just between your eyebrows. And now imagine that the gaze shifts upward. So maybe you close your eyes and roll the eyes upward toward the center forehead. This is our energy chakra, our energy wheel, if you will, of wisdom, of intuition. So our practice with the Hakini Mudra was the gut feeling first, the heart feeling second, and now the place where it is fully intended. Feel the energy inside the hands, the gaze directed at the center forehead. And now as the breath moves into the body on the inhale, it fills all the way up to the crown of the head so that some of that breath exits at the forehead into the hands. And then as you breathe out, same thing takes place, just the opposite. Come back to that which you would like to manifest, your joy or your freedom from something or whatever it might be. And see if you can imagine it is placed right at the center forehead. Lift your arms to the sky, breath in. Palms face behind you. Get a little stretchy in the torso. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, let the hands lower forward and down by your sides. Breathe in, lift the arms up, palms face behind you. And times two, hands fall down to the earth, passing in front of you, or in front of your shoulders. And one more time. Now we'll bring the hands in front of us with the palms facing down. Imagine whatever roadblocks, hurdles, problems, burdens are in your way. You're going to press the hands down to press those away from you and into the earth and maybe a little bit forward. Then what we want to manifest, maybe we are reaping something from the earth, the palms face up. And we lift that beautiful stuff right up as far as we can, maybe even above the head. And then we let all of that rain down on us, pressing the palms down. Hands by your sides. Inhale, lift the arms outward, palms face forward. Stay here for a moment for a breath out. And reach the arms outward. Press the tailbone to the earth. Imagine you can make space across the chest. There's a tiny little connection between your shoulder blades. Biceps are active, triceps are active. Maybe you wiggle the fingers. Let's find some wrist circles. I can see that my elbows are a little bit bent, so I'm going to work a little bit on that. Inhale, palms lift high. They press together overhead. The gaze lifts up. Draw the belly in and up. Reach the torso nice and long. Breathe out. Inhale. Our first little back bend with the fingers coming to the nape of the neck or between the shoulder blades. The head presses backward. Maybe the elbows squeeze together as we lengthen the torso again. And now intertwine the fingers and press the palms to the back, opening up your elbows. Now we open up as the elbows come toward one another behind you, lifting the heart, imagining that there's this beautiful energy right between the shoulder blades. Lifting. Elbows draw together, scoop the belly in. Exhale, take a fold. Round the spine a lot, let the head get heavy. We'll lift back up to a neutral spine, drawing the belly in, spine long, arms lift high again. And as we exhale, the hands draw together at the heart. Before we move into the more active part of the practice, which actually will start a little bit inactive, but more physical movement than we've just taken, we will support the manifestation of what we desire, what we aim for, what we wish our world was like, using the chant of Om. Not required to chant, but if you like, you can join me. And otherwise, imagine Om, Aum, riding out on your exhale out your mouth if you prefer not to chant. We're going to take a big cleansing breath first. And we'll follow that with Om. Om. Meet me in child's pose on your mat or your towel or your rug or your blanket, whatever you're practicing on. I'm just going to remove my limited edition salt and sand sweatshirt. Come face down on your mat, arms long in front of you if you can, forehead resting either on the mat or on a block or a blanket, pillow. And the knees are nice and wide to start with the big toes touching. Balasana 2. I know we're doing Balasana 2 before we do Balasana 1, but typically Balasana 1 is toward the end of practice, at least the sequences that I teach. So knees come nice and wide. And if necessary, your hands can stack so the elbows point outward. But come back to our intention or that seed of change we're creating, what we want to manifest. And rock the head left and right, imagining that could sort of be pressed into your third eye, pressed into your gray matter. We'll work to open up the heart more. We're going to bring the palms together with the pinkies on the mat. And bend the elbows again so the fingers come behind the neck or between the shoulder blades. But this time the rest of the body's in a bit of a different shape. So maybe you can walk the elbows one at a time forward. Draw the sitting bones toward the heels. We're lengthening the spine and starting to open up under the armpits. Imagine they got scooped out a little bit more. Pressing the shoulder blades a little together and imagining again that the heart is connecting to the earth. The hands press to the earth. We draw our way into a tabletop shape. Separate the feet. Draw the navel in, make a little real estate between your shoulder blades. Float the right leg long behind you. Keep your hips as square as possible. Draw your knee to your nose. Inhale, extend the leg. Cross the leg behind you, look over the left shoulder. Bring the leg straight out behind, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Cross the leg behind you, look over your left shoulder. Leg straightens, knee to nose. Lengthen back out. Cross the leg behind you, look over your left shoulder. Now face the nose downward, sweep the leg out to the right. Keep it lifted for a couple moments and then drop the foot to the earth outside your mat. Press into the outer edge of that foot and then stack the shoulders over the knees, over the hips and the knees, in fact. Left arm sweeps high, right hand glides down your right leg, finding as much length and strength. We're starting to open up the inner thigh, the hips, the whole left side of the body. Imagine the left ribs could expand all the way around the body like the ribs of a ship. We'll come back to our tabletop for cat and a cow. Or cow and a cat. I like the cow cat. And we neutralize once more. Left leg floats behind. Reach, reach, reach. Square the hips. Equilibrium between the hands. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Left leg sweeps around to the right and look over your right shoulder. Leg extends behind, knee to nose. Reach long. Leg sweeps over to the right and look over your right shoulder. Leg behind, one more time, knee to nose. Extend the leg. Sweep the leg over to the right. Point the nose downward, sweep the leg over to the left. Keep it lifted just for a moment. Drop the foot to the earth. Press the outer edge of the foot to the earth as you walk the hands backward to stack your shoulders over your hips. Right arm floats high. And then tilt over to the left. Open up the heart. Feel the breath moving into the right rib cage, finding length all the way from the right knee to the right pinky finger. Hands return to the earth. Knee returns to the earth, cat and cow or cow and cat. And then we'll take some hip circles, tucking the tailbone. Really work these circles. Take your time, find your breath. Maybe reconsider that seed of change you would like to manifest. 3 in one direction, and then we shift into the opposite. We're going to bring the seat to the heels, draw the knees together. Just take a moment to work a little bit of energy into the thighs. Maybe finding cat-cow shapes, using the heels of the hands to massage the quads. And we work to open up the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then just a tiny bit more work as we stack the shoulders over the hips. We'll bring the hands behind us. If you have a hero's pose and you would like to sort of work your way into that, you might not be open enough for it yet. But we're just going to work to open up the quads a little, walking the hands backwards. Keep the belly super stoked up toward the spine. And press the pelvis forward. don't have to go really far. No, don't need to work necessarily into a full back bend or a full hero's pose. Starting to find a little opening. We'll come back to a tabletop. Walk the hands forward a couple to 3 inches. Tuck your toes under. Pause here. Use the belly and a breath out to lift the knees off the mat just a couple of inches. Press the sitting bones toward the heels. Stay strong. Nose points down. Breathe in. Exhale slowly and reach the heels toward the earth as you find your downward dog. You might need to pedal into your feet. Don't forget to draw the navel in and up, supporting this down dog with the belly as much as you are supporting it with the feet and the hands and the shoulders. Hands walk toward the toes for a forward fold at the back of your mat. You might find a ragdoll suits you well here. And see if you can fold your arms or cup your elbows the opposite way of what you normally do. I had to think about it for a minute. Release the hands to the earth and slowly with bent knees roll to standing. Arms will sweep high. Exhale, cactus shape arms. Bring the fingertips behind the ears so the elbows point outward. Take a big breath in, lift the heart. On an exhale, twist over to the right. You might not come very far because you want to keep the hips square to the front of the mat. Inhale to center, and as you breathe out, and twist to the other side. Cactus arms coming front and center, and now the heels of the hands drop to the low back. We're going to create a little bit more of a back bend, so you might spread the feet a teeny bit wider. But we really want to stay stable in the belly and the low back. So maybe there's a little bounce in your knees, a tucking forward of the tailbone, and a lifting in and up of the low belly. Heels of the hands draw to the low back. Press the fleshy part down. Shift your hips forward. Extend your torso, front, back, and sides, and then draw the shoulder blades together like cogs that could lock in. Lift the heart, and we take that again. Press the flesh down. Shift the hips forward, extend the torso, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the heart one more time, fleshy part down, hips forward, extend torso, shoulder blades, heart, and maybe the back of the head. Shoulders stack over, hips, hands drop by your sides for mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Halfway lift, which could include a breath out for those with low back issues. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your hips. We're going to take a little bit of a qigong-ish like movement with a little bend in the knees. We're going to lift the arms up. Palms face behind you. And when we breathe out, we're going to bend the knees and sweep the arms behind us, sort of like we're sitting in a chair. Breath out. Lift up. Breath out. Lift up. Breath out. Lift up all the way to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. Slowly float the left knee in toward your chest. Lengthen the leg in front of you, and maybe it doesn't come very high. Step the foot forward. Lift the right knee in toward your chest. Right ankle crosses above the left knee. Sit down into a chair shape. Long, slow, steady breath. Drishti, single point of focus. We're starting to open up the hips. Right knee lifts. Leg extends in front. Foot steps in front, left knee to the chest. Ankle crosses above the right knee. We sit into chair. Knee lifts up and the foot drops. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And a forward fold. The left foot steps to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Really find beauty and length in this lunge. Left fingertips down, right arm high, or if you're me or like me with a cranky shoulder, the right hand to the low back and your twist. Right hand to the earth. Tap the back knee to the earth and then lengthen that leg again. Hover over your right leg. Ooh, yeah. Draw that right heel behind. Gather in the glutes and the quad, the thighs, and rise up, Crescent Warrior. Manifest your back bend, opening up the heart. This is also opening up the left front of your left hip, the psoas. Hands to your heart and face this long edge of your mat. Might need to adjust your feet. Hands to your hips. Fold halfway down. Fold all the way down if that works for you. Drop your head. We'll take the twist again, left hand down underneath your nose and the right arm high. We're rotating the navel around the belly, around the spine. Not just working here from the shoulders, but we are opening up the chest and extending the collarbones. Right hand down, left arm high. Long spine, breath in. Twisty, twisty, breath out. Hands to the earth. Hands to your hips, rise halfway up. Super long spine, active belly, rise all the way up. Spin on your front heel, your right heel, so the toes point to the front of your mat to find a warrior 2 stance. Maybe you need to adjust. Juicy bend in your front knee. Back foot parallel to the back of the mat. Your hips are working to square to the side of your mat. Arms float open, nice and strong, belly in and up. Gaze over your middle right finger. Yeah. This feels so nice. Expanding in the space that we're in. Right palm flips to reverse this warrior. Keep that bend in your front knee. Come back to warrior 2. We're going to work into a dancing warrior and move into side angle. Working to open up the hips, open up the heart, keep the belly nice and strong. Inhale back to warrior 2. Breathe out. Inhale, reverse. We'll move into the dancing warrior side angle. Warrior 2, reverse. Side angle. Your cadence stays strong in the back leg. Warrior 2. Reverse. This time we'll stay in our side angle. Maybe even finding something a little deeper by extending the right arm or touching the right fingertips to a block or the mat. Warrior 2. Lift the right heel off the mat, sink deeper into your front knee and drop your right heel. Take another reverse. Warrior 2. Hands to your hips, extend your front leg. Spin your right toes in to face the long edge of the mat again. Heel toe the feet a little bit closer, and then bring the heels in, the toes out. Sink into a goddess pose or a temple pose. I think sometimes it's called horse. Pause here. Left heel off the mat. Sink deeper. Bring the heel down. Right heel off the mat. Sink deeper. Bring the heel down. Tuck your pelvis. Both heels off the mat. Keep the heels off the mat. Rise up nice and tall onto the balls of the feet. Arms long. Exhale, hands to your heart, heels down. We're going to step forward to the front of the mat. Mountain pose, just for a couple of breaths. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Breathe out, forward fold. Your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Right foot to the back of the mat for your runner's lunge. Take your time setting this up. Work for balance. Work for length. Work for power. We're not just hanging out with the belly relaxed onto the left thigh. And a twist here. Left hand down. Right knee taps to the earth, and then we lengthen it again. Finding a solid, stable stance, hover over your left thigh. Open up the collarbones, draw the belly in and up. Woo! Rise up, Crescent Warrior. Open up, Warrior 2. Reverse this warrior. Really reach open with the rib cage. Warrior 2. Move into our dancing warrior, reversing it to move into side angle. Power in the back leg, power in the belly, opening up the heart, Warrior 2. Reverse. Side angle. Warrior 2. Last one, reverse. And we stay in our side angle for a couple breaths. Warrior 2. Reverse. Lift the left heel off the mat. Sink deeper into your front knee. Drop your left heel. Hands to your hips. Extend your front leg. Spin to the long edge of the mat. Toes in, heels out. Fingers jam into your hip creases. Draw the belly in. Take a halfway down fold. Stay here for a moment, finding a long spine, finding your stance. And then fold all the way down. And now it's your choice. You might take Skandasana, moving left to right with a bend in one knee at a time, or maybe you find a forward fold or another twist. I'm going to move my hands toward one foot and then the other foot because that feels good to me. What my body needs right now. So meet your body where it is without judgment. And we walk back around to the front foot, spin toward the front of the mat, and find Malasana. You might need to move the left foot out to the left a bit more. And then the right foot steps outside the right hand to drop the sitting bones to the earth. I'm going to move a little left and right here to find my way with my cranky hips. I love them anyway because they do keep my legs attached to my body. Long spine. Hands come to the earth. Step the left leg behind you, and we'll work into a lizard twist. You might take a little time to extend that back leg a little bit more. And if you like a quad stretch here, you're welcome to take that. You're also welcome to stay in your lizard twist or move into a deeper lizard pose with the hands right under your shoulders, or with the forearms on the mat or on a block. But imagine that the hips are shifting forward rather than downward. And if it works for your body, you can peel open the right foot like a book. If you like an extra challenge and you're in lizard, you could tuck your left toes under to float the left knee off the mat. A bit of a powered up, super activated lizard. And maybe if you've never done that in this focus session on cultivating change, manifesting what we intend in our lives, maybe you try it. Hands plant one at a time under the shoulders. We come back to Malasana squat, prayer squat. You might feel a little bit more open on the right side. And then we'll find our lizard twist on the opposite side. Hands under the shoulders, right foot steps back, nice and far away from you. The right knee from the right wrist, and then your twist, your quad stretch if you took it on the other side. 3 or more breaths there. And then either you remain there or move into your full version of lizard. Modified, if you like, by tucking the back toes under to float the right knee off the earth. Hands plant under your shoulders. Final time for Malasana. Maybe everything feels a little even Steven, or maybe one side is still more open than the other, and that's all okay. You're going to find your way onto your seat, still in a Malasana shape with your legs. Some of us will probably do that more gracefully than others. We're going to go ahead and take a hold, bring the arms long inside the legs, take a hold of the ankles, and lift the heart. And we can take a twist over to the left, maybe with a half bind. And the left arm extends inside the left leg. Take a hold of your ankle or your foot, twist to the right. Come front and center, bring the soles of the feet together for a Baddha Konasana shape. Sitting bones toward the heels. Little butterfly fluttering of the knees might feel good. If you like, you can always place a block under one knee or both if they're having a little bit of a hard time relaxing. We're going to move into a back bend with this posture. Hands come behind you, fingers point toward your buttocks. Press the pelvis a little bit forward and then extend the front body, side bodies, back body. Open up the collarbones. Imagine they're kind of unzipping even as the shoulder blades are zipping together. Lift the heart. Drop the head. Draw the belly in, sit up nice and tall. We're going to move on to our knees. So you might use your hands to the outer edges of your knees and press the knees up. And find your way into tabletop. You might notice I haven't been doing in probably the past 6 months a lot of cobra or sphinx poses. And that is due to my low back issue. So you're welcome if you ever desire to have a cobra or a sphinx or a scorpion even, or a bow. You can always move into it if you feel open enough and safe enough. The knees and the hips are stacked. We walk the hands forward like the puppy dog, finding its place. Drawing the forehead, chin, or chest to the earth. Arms long in front if the shoulders tolerate it. And over time, as you breathe, you might find that things get a little closer to the earth, or that the shoulders get a little bit grumpy or grumpier. You can always bring the thumbs to touch and bend the elbows left and right. In Anahatasana, the heart pose, maybe reconsider, or maybe even, I'm going to work on drawing the Hakini Mudra into place here. Maybe come back to that intention, that manifestation, that seed of change you're cultivating. And while the mudra is probably closer to your crown chakra consciousness, that could be beneficial for manifesting what it is you're looking to do. Even while you're settling this gorgeous breath, like you're drawing it from the bluest skies and the warmest sun and the sparkliest stars, right into a little pool behind your heart. One more huge cleansing breath. And now Malasana 1. Knees together, big toes touch, sitting bones come toward the heels. Top of the head on the earth, so you're kind of looking at your knees. The hands can swing around toward your feet and hopefully connect with part of your body. Let the breath grow the spine, round the spine, soften the spine, extend the spine, and the space left to right at your low back. And to give us enough time to work into our Hakini at the end of class, we're now going to come to a seat and all the way down to our backs. You can keep your knees bent because we're going to move into a twist. The first, knees hug into the chest, a really beautiful squeeze, and maybe a happy baby. This is also a Malasana. Hug the knees in again, drop the feet to the earth, and then shift the hips over to the right, drop your knees to the left. You can stack or scissor the legs, the knees. Or you might feel good extending the right leg long. The arms can flop outward, the gaze draws over toward the right. It might not come directly over the right hand. We're going to breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Take the whole shindig over to the other side, starting with the soles of the feet on the earth, the back nice and long. The hips shift way to the left, knees drop to the right. Again, extending the left leg long or stacking or scissoring your legs, whatever feels okay for you. Arms wide, gaze toward the left. Two more breaths. Let the soles of the feet meet back with your mat. Shift your hips so your spine is as long and straight as it would typically be. Then move into your final resting posture. You might remain here, or perhaps take a more traditional Shavasana with legs extended, feet splayed, space between the arms and the side bodies. Shoulder blades moving toward the hips on the same side. A huge breath in, get really generous with it. And give it all up. Maybe here in Shavasana you imagine that seed of change, that characteristic or behavior or attitude or manifestation that you are cultivating. Imagine it as a word or a color or a texture or an image sitting right inside your center forehead. We'll take a few breaths here before we sit upright. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Bend one knee at a time. So you can roll onto one side, whichever side makes sense for you. Keeping the eyes closed, press yourself back to a comfortable seat. If you need to shift onto a prop, go ahead and make that happen. And find Sukhasana or half lotus or full lotus, whatever meditative posture works for you. Maybe your back is against the wall. Extend the spine. Press the palms together in front of you and then open up the palms, keeping the fingertips lightly touching and the fingers lightly spread. I'm going to start again with the fingers pointing downward at your low belly. And in your mind, the focus of the breath and the energy is at the low belly with the hands. You come back to the statement that you are working to manifest. I manifest whatever that is. We flip the fingers upward so the thumbs come to the heart. Staying in Hakini Mudra. Awareness of the heart energy, the energy into the hands, the energy that those spaces share. A statement about that which you manifest. I manifest joy. And the eyes roll up toward the center forehead. And the Hakini Mudra lifts upward toward the center forehead. Maybe you touch your center forehead with your thumbs. Noticing, conscious of, aware of, observing the energy, the power of the mind to engage and harness the body and the spirit, the heart, to manifest that which you deserve. Draw your palms together with the thumb knuckles connecting to the center forehead. Breathe in and out. May your seed of change be cultivated by every aspect of your human form, your energy, and your spirit. May it be brought to life. That which you cultivate already lies within you. Your cultivation uncovers it, nourishes it, and allows it to grow. May all beings be happy. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing the practice today, for working with me on mudra and heart opening and hip opening and manifestation. May your seed of change come to life. I hope to see you again soon, even though I don't really see you. I hope you see me again soon. Plenty of videos to practice with, saltandsandstudios.com. If you have the funds to donate, if you don't, everyone deserves the tools of yoga to practice. So you are welcome regardless. Have a great day. Thank you.